Hey everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to my workshop called Mindset and Nutrition Basics. My name is Cynthia Ray. If you don't know me already, I'm a registered dietitian and fitness specialist. I've been in private practice for about 20 years now, which seems crazy. Time's going by so fast. But I am super passionate about helping people really to get a handle on their wellness lifestyle that they're really wanting to achieve and giving them the proper steps that they need and the proper tools that they need to achieve their wellness goals to last, not just for the temporary, but for the long haul. I especially love helping women around 35 plus to lose weight without dieting and to live out again their wellness lifestyle with a great quality of life and longevity. So today I'm going to be talking about mindset and nutrition basics. And if you don't know my style already, a little bit about my style and philosophy is that beliefs, mindset, self talk are so foundational to making long term behavior change, especially when it comes to wellness and moving into a full time wellness lifestyle. So, I'm going to be talking about that today about mindset and beliefs, and then how to challenge it and reframe those beliefs into positive ones that'll help you move forward instead of allowing them to rule you and keep you stuck in the negative behaviors that you're wanting to change. And then we're going to go over some nutrition basics, some information about carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and also the importance of hydration and a well balanced diet. And at the end, I have a little special gift for you. So if you stay till the end with me, I can show you exactly what that is to take home with you that you can use to implement some of the strategies that I'm going to be teaching you today. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So again, like I said, my name is Cynthia Ray, and I'm excited to teach. I've been doing wellness workshops in the area or virtually for the past 5 or 6 months now, and really enjoy getting to know people and getting to interact with the community and just people who enjoy learning from me. So I know today's workshop was supposed to be a live and in-person workshop, but things changed, and thank goodness for the advent of technology that we can do this online and virtually. So you can watch this or listen to this on your own time and enjoy, rewinding it, fast forwarding it, pausing it, maybe to take notes, or maybe coming back to it later on when you have more time. Or yeah, it's kind of cool that we can do it this way. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's go ahead and dive into mindset first, and then we'll go into nutrition basics. I'm going to try my best to keep this kind of short and sweet because I know not all of us have a ton of time, and our attention spans are much less than it used to be with the advent of technology and social media and things. So let's go ahead and dive right down and get to it. So let's start talking about mindset first. So essentially, mindset. Mindset is obviously it's the way you think. It actually has to do with your beliefs as well. So mindset and beliefs, they both create and manifest your reality from the inside out. So what you want to do when it comes to mindset is you want to start by checking your self-talk. Start listening to what you're saying to yourself. And what I've noticed over time, and even more recently myself, is that the way we talk to ourselves often is very negative. So that's one way you can catch it. But it can be so quiet and so normal and so ingrained as a response to situations in our head that we don't even realize we're saying it. It comes out of our, maybe not out of our mouth, maybe it's out of your mouth, but it kind of runs through your thoughts as a judgment or criticism of yourself in a response to a situation, or maybe just a thought we have of something that's coming up in the future, or a conversation that we had, an hour ago or yesterday, and we have some kind of a judgment about ourselves about it, or something that we did, maybe a behavior. Maybe you ate a little extra snack last night, and now you're feeling, remember as you're folding laundry, you're remembering and recalling how you were so upset about doing that again because you swore that you wouldn't do it anymore. And usually it's with a carbohydrate food like sugar or some kind of a treat that you overate on or emotionally ate on, and now you're feeling guilty about it and judging yourself about it. So again, the way we talk to ourselves is something that we can be really hard to catch unless you really are aware of it and even know that it's there. So I'm in this class, I'm actually going to be planting that seed a little bit, which I already sounds like I have, when it comes to mindset and self-talk. So now you're going to be more aware of what you're saying to yourself and maybe see how it could be holding you back from moving forward in the lifestyle that you want to achieve. All right. So what you need to know too is, like I said, the way we speak to ourselves is usually negative, and it's important that you start to filter it and start to realize the truths at hand about yourself and see how you can reframe the situation into something that is true about you. And sometimes it might be hard to do because we don't really always feel that way, that it's actually something positive that's true about us. But I want to start to challenge you to start thinking of ways to challenge negative thoughts and how to reframe them to be more positive and effective and productive thoughts. All right, two terms that I talk about frequently are scarcity and abundance. So let's first talk about the abundance mindset. So the abundance mindset is usually, actually it always, flows out of a deep inner sense of personal worth and security. Isn't that beautiful? It's a paradigm that's grounded in the belief that there is more than enough for everyone. There's not a fear of losing out, a fear of missing out, a fear of not having enough, that maybe I'll miss my opportunity if I don't jump on something now. And most marketing, I think if not all marketing, is based on that lack of abundance or the opposite, which is the scarcity mindset. So a scarcity mindset sees limitations instead of opportunities. Alternatively, a scarcity mindset is a belief that there will never be enough, resulting in feelings of fear, stress, and anxiety. Again, so I was talking about is that many of the marketing strategies or advertising really uses the scarcity mindset to get people to take action now and to buy something immediately for the fear of missing out on the opportunity or the price or whatever it might be. And we might even feel that way with food, right? I know that there's something called food scarcity, which occurs either in reality or in maybe just the belief we have about food. Maybe as we were growing up, there wasn't enough food available for a large family. So you kind of had to get in there and get as much food as you could before everybody else took it, which could actually be a reality of scarcity when it comes to food. But we also may have been taught by our parents as we were growing. Maybe our parents grew up in a food scarcity household, and now they're teaching us, even though we have an abundance of food, that to get what you can now, because there might not be enough later. Or maybe they just act that way and they're always scrounging around and trying to get food first for survival, essentially, because of how they grew up, even though that may not be our current reality. So scarcity mindset is not just an actual situation, but it can just be a belief based on what we've learned from others, especially our parents or people who we look up to in our lives. However, an abundance mindset can also come from people who are important to us as well, like our parents, our caregivers, grandparents, people that we look up to. All of our beliefs are actually based from people who we've looked up to and hold a lot of high regard for as we have been growing up. So abundance mindset is a belief that there's more than enough for everyone, which is such a nice place to live in because you never feel like you're having to scrounge around or be afraid that you're going to miss out. Instead, you're always going to be living in an abundance, a flow of abundance of items or things that you need in your life. So what I want to do is, now that you have an idea of what those things are, I want to start challenging you to start thinking in a little bit of a different way. So when you're living in a scarcity mindset, you might say, oh, I just can't do that because blah, blah, blah. So instead of saying, I can't, resolve in your mind to say, what can I do to begin to make this happen? So one of the examples that I can remember of this is I remember I was in a class, I think it was a coaching class or something like that. And the teacher was talking about how she never wanted to tell her kids, oh, I'm sorry, honey, you can't have that from the store because we don't have enough money. And instead say, it's more of a scarcity mindset. Instead say, that looks like a really great thing. Let's think of a way that we can make a little extra money to purchase that item. So instead of thinking or saying no, or you can't, think of things or ways that you can make this particular thing happen or begin to happen. That can even happen when it comes to weight loss goals. We can say, I've done every diet out there, or I just can't stick to a diet program because it's just too hard. And every time I try doing it, I just fall off track and I just can't do it. So maybe instead you can say to yourself, well, it's been hard in the past and I've struggled in the past, but maybe if I do things differently, let's see if I can find maybe some baby steps that I can do to begin to make things happen. Instead of thinking in all or nothing, you can think of maybe making little strides or baby steps to get closer to the place that you want to be. So like it says here, so what baby steps can I begin to do now that can get me to live the active lifestyle that I want to achieve? And maybe how can I save extra money? Who can I reach out to for help and wisdom in this area? So if it comes to finances and you really need to make some extra money, or you want to make extra money for your savings, you could think, well, maybe, it's not that I can't have it, but what wisdom can I seek? And who can I help? Or who can I ask for help in this particular area of my life? Again, same thing comes to with wellness. Who can I reach out to? Who I can gain extra wisdom from? Who maybe somebody who thinks out of the box, because what I've been doing has not been working for me, but let's see who I can find for help. Okay, so let's go ahead and look a little bit more at beliefs specifically. So beliefs, our beliefs determine our actions, right? So if you think about that, if we believe something, it determines how we act. And it's our consistent actions, actually what we're doing, that produces the results, right? So that could be negative or positive or neutral, depending on how you see it. So whatever actions, whatever beliefs you have determine what you're going to be actually doing, and what you're doing on a regular basis or consistently is going to produce the results that you are wanting to achieve. So beliefs are generally formed in two ways. Number one, beliefs are generally formed by our experiences, inferences, and deductions. All of these core beliefs are actually formed when we are babies and children. And like some parents will say, do as I say, not as I do, which isn't always the best because most children will actually develop their beliefs based on the parents' actions, less so what they say. However, what they say does have a powerful impact as well. And beliefs are also formed by accepting what others tell us to be true. So, for example, let's say you didn't finish your lunch because you're not that hungry, or you're not hungry anymore, and then your parents might scold you for leaving food on your plate and tell you that good children finish all their food, right? You might be able, I don't know if you relate to this or not, but I know a lot of people can. We're also greatly influenced by our classmates in school. I know as we grow, actually, I'm going to go back to my example. I was talking about how your parents might scold you for leaving plate on your food and tell you that good children finish all of their food. So the thing is what you might notice is that in order to feel appreciated, accepted, loved, the good child does what they're told, even if it goes against our human intuition and nature. So we start to believe that we can't listen to our intuition and nature as far as hunger goes, because good children are the ones that finish all of their food despite how they feel. Okay. So The other thing too is we're also greatly influenced by our classmates in school. So later on in life, this kind of changes a little bit. So let me give you another example. So let's assume that you're bullied by other kids. They might continually tell you that you're fat, ugly, or uncool. And then after a while, you might start believing this to be fact and start perceiving yourself as fat, ugly, and uncool. Or the other kids at school may be physically abusive to you. Consequently, you may start to infer from this that you are weak because of your inability to defend yourself and start believing this to be fact. When we accept something to be fact and we form a belief, it's stored up in our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind does not know or care if the belief that we've created is actually true or false. It simply stores it as fact for later use. Our subconscious mind acts as our autopilot to make our life easier and to keep us safe. It serves to help automate our actions and responses to certain situations. So I was reading something earlier, and it was talking about when your parents, let me go back here, when our parents tell us about the tooth fairy or about Santa Claus. So if you have kids around, you might want to turn this down. But, what our parents say are people who we look up to, somebody who we see as really valuable and important to us. Whatever they say is what we create as a belief and trust them, right? So that's just a good example of that. So as we grow and we age, other kids might start to contradict the existence of Santa Claus or the tooth fairy or so on. So most of our core beliefs, like I said, are formed when we are children. So some of the things you may be saying to yourself or the things that you're believing, check to see if it's something that you may have heard when you were growing up, or maybe it's kind of like an old tape recording of what you heard from your parents or people or adults who were influential in your life. Okay, some examples. So limiting beliefs, for example, would be my body type is such that I cannot lose weight no matter what I do. I've heard this many times. Instead, you can use an empowering belief and reframe that to, I can be slim and healthy if I exercise and I eat right. Yes, that's true. A limiting belief may be, my family background limits what I can become in life. Okay. And instead, an empowering belief, you could say instead, I can become anything I want with the proper training and effort. And that is true. A limiting belief could be, I'm ugly and unappealing. And somehow this person got this in their mind because of life experiences and beliefs they created over the years. But instead, an empowering belief would be, I am attractive and desirable, which is, both are very blanket statements. One is truth. And sometimes too, the empowering belief sounds so opposite to the limiting belief, and they are, but it can be very difficult to, if you're believing the limiting belief, it's probably been believing it for a long time, but to all of a sudden come up with an empowering belief, like this one, it says, I'm ugly and unappealing, and instead saying I'm attractive and desirable. Initially, that could be really hard to do. It could be really hard to start believing that, maybe just even saying it could be hard to do. But over time, the more you do it, the more empowering that empowering belief is, and you start to achieve that and really believe the truth about who you are, and attracting that actually to yourself as well from other people. Okay, another thing is a limiting belief. I'm told to do something, and empowering, I'm too old. I'm too old to do something. I hear this one a lot too. Empowering belief, my age means that I have experience and wisdom to do anything. So once you have identified your limiting beliefs, it's time to replace them with empowering ones. You want to really start tuning in to maybe what you're saying to yourself, and then replacing that with more empowering beliefs. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about when it comes to mindset is the power of your why. So our why, let me use some examples first. So why do you believe that we automatically put a seatbelt on when we get in the car, that you brush your teeth in the morning, that you take a shower after being sweaty and either exercising or working hard. And we do these things because there's a strong negative social consequence. So, a strong why, the reason why we do these things. Maybe you put your seatbelt on automatically because it's a symbol of safety and you feel safer with it on and almost uncomfortable with it off. And I've actually, now that during COVID time, people wear masks whether they need them or not, because it's kind of become a comfort to them, knowing that they have it on because they're feeling safe. The same thing with our seatbelt. I know kids also do that with security blankets. They feel more comfortable with them than without them. So those are some strong whys. Why you brush your teeth in the morning? Because there's that instant gratification of feeling refreshed and rejuvenated and clean. And same thing with taking a shower. It's a pretty quick, positive consequence from being dirty to clean. So those are just examples of some strong whys. And the reason why I'm talking about a strong why and the power of your why is because when it comes to long-term behavior change, if we don't know why we want to do or why we want to achieve what we want to achieve, then it's going to be really hard to maintain. So we may say, okay, well, I want to lose weight because I just want to look better and feel better. And that's valid, that's fine. But if that desire isn't strong enough, if it doesn't empower you to get past those obstacles and hurdles of making new behavior change, if it doesn't get you past, for example, let's say you've been exercising more regularly and you're feeling really good, and then it's only been a few weeks and you're feeling pretty consistent, and then you go away on vacation, or maybe you get sick, or maybe your just schedule gets really busy randomly and you fall off of your workouts. You want to make sure that your why, the reason why you're doing it, is so strong that it forces you to come back to your healthy lifestyle. So let's say, for example, you're diabetic or have elevated cholesterol, or you just really, it's really important to you to be healthy for your children as they grow, or to be an example to them of health, or you really want to be able to be active with your grandchildren, and that's super important to you. Those reasons why are the ones that are going to get you right back on track, because it's super important that you stay healthy and active so that way you can live out the lifestyle that you have envisioned. So, like I said, you need to have why that's strong enough to push you through until the behavior becomes a regular lifestyle habit. Okay, so when you think about wanting to make change, think about why you're doing it. And if that why that you have in mind is strong enough to keep you going, or it's maybe you're feeling too desperate to make change right now because the pain that you're experiencing is so bad because you don't like how you feel or the things that you're doing. But maybe you're starting to make behavior change out of desperation, and it's kind of like a bonfire. You have a bunch of wood and then you light it up on fire, and poof, the flames go and the firewood is gone. Sometimes when we go into a new program, or a new like boot camp class or nutrition plan in order to lose weight, if we're going to it too desperately, then we're going to fall out of it just as quickly. But if you go into it with a lot of motivation and some encouragement and support from somebody who has wisdom in that area that can coach you along, it can be really beneficial to it'd be more like a kindling fire, where you're constantly putting on maybe a new piece of wood and keep that fire going by learning new behaviors and getting the support that you need. So you want to be that kindling fire, that you have still a fire going, but it's more apt to last longer and create long-term change. All right. So as we're now going to move out of the mindset stuff and shift into nutrition. But like I said, I really wanted to explain to you our beliefs and attitudes and our reasons why, before I move into nutrition. So if you're wanting to make long-term change, you know what to do first before you start making change with your food. All right, so here's my slide with nutrition. So I just want to show you this because I'm going to talk to you about this more, the Mediterranean lifestyle and diet. So this is such a heart healthy, energy producing, life-giving way of eating and lifestyle. So all of these foods that are on my slide here have to do with the Mediterranean style of eating, which some of you may have heard of already, maybe not. Okay, let's talk about nutrition basics. So what makes a meal a balanced meal? So I know a lot of us growing up, we saw the food guide pyramid, and then depending on what generation you're in, you may have seen this plate. It's called, what do they call it? Rate Your Plate, or a balanced food plate from the USDA. They changed the food guide pyramid out for this particular plate to show you what types of foods to eat and the balance of foods to have in your meal or snack. Okay, so ingredients. The ingredients in a meal would comprise of a carbohydrate, which could be like a grain or fruit or starchy vegetable, or a fat, which could be like avocado, olive oil, nuts, olives, coconut oil, or butter. And then proteins, it can be animal protein, whether it's steak or beef or chicken or fish or pork, whatever type of animal protein you like, or also vegetarian protein, which could be beans or legumes, which are really great sources of plant-based protein. And then also including a vegetable for a little extra fiber and minerals. And as we go through the slides, I'm going to teach you all a little bit about the health benefits of each of these components of a meal. So your meal would include one of these components on your plate. And it says dairy here, but you don't have to have dairy. It's just something they add on there, I really believe, because the dairy board had kind of gave the USDA a little money to put it on the plate. It can be dairy or non-dairy. It's really not even necessary. I mean, it's a good source of calcium, but you can get calcium from lots of other types of vegetables, and even sardines are a good source of calcium, and also fortified foods like breads and cereals or supplements. So that's just for calcium. But yeah, like I said, dairy doesn't have to be there, but if you like it, that's fine too. All right, so that's what makes a balanced meal a meal. So a carbohydrate, a fat, a protein, and a vegetable, at least each of those on your plate. And then what makes a snack a snack? So I like to tell my clients that you can have a snack that could be, a combination of 1 to 3 of the components of a meal. So like I said, the components of a meal are carbohydrate, fat, protein, and a vegetable. So if you wanted for a snack, maybe you could have for a carb some crackers and cheese for your protein, or you could have celery and peanut butter for your vegetable and protein, or you can do a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you wanted to for a carb and protein. So you would just basically get combination of 1 to 3 of the components of a meal. It doesn't have to be all of them, but it could be. But typically it's just a couple of a combination of the meal options. Okay, all right, so let's talk about macronutrients. I know macronutrients or macros is a really popularized term these days in the diet world. If you guys have been hearing that, the word macros is just short for macronutrients. And the macronutrients, macro means large nutrients. Micronutrients are the smaller ones, which I'll talk about next, which are the vitamins and minerals. So macronutrients are the larger ones, which are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they would compose about 45 to 60% of your diet. They contain 4 calories per 1 gram. And same with protein, also 4 calories per 1 gram. And fat is a little higher at 9. And then alcohol, just so you know, as an aside, is 7 calories per gram. Okay, so carbohydrates, they have vitamins, minerals, and fiber. You can find them in bread, pasta, cereal, rice, a variety of grains. And when it comes down to it, I really realized that all foods, actually everything, foods contains carbs, Let's see, everything contains carbs except foods that are pure fat and pure protein. So pure fat foods would be like avocado or oil. And then pure protein things would be like animal protein, chicken breast, or a steak. That would be a pure protein source, which would not contain carbohydrates. Everything else, that plants, all plants, pretty sure all plants, yeah, all plants contain fiber and carbohydrate, but just pure protein and pure fat does not. So in our bodies, carbohydrates are stored as glycogen and glucose. As glycogen is stored in our liver and our muscles, and glucose is in our blood sugar. So glycogen is great because if we get too hungry or run out of food, it stores a little bit extra in our liver to use as a kind of like a backup gas can or reserve gas tank. So you don't pass out or just get your blood sugar way too low. But once those stores are used up completely, then you can get, pass out and just your blood sugar can get way too low. So glycogen is also stored in your muscles. So glycogen stored in your muscles is used for exercise for later use. And then glucose is the immediate source of energy that's found as blood sugar in our bloodstream. Okay. All right, protein. Protein would compose about 30% of your diet. Again, 4 calories per gram, and protein could be meats, beans, quinoa, legumes, and lentils, which are the plant sources of protein. So plant proteins contain a complete amino acid profile, and then plant sources of protein like beans, quinoa, legumes, and lentils contain an incomplete profile of amino acids. So if you wanted to have more of a complete profile, you can combine a plant protein like beans or lentils with a carbohydrate like rice to create a complete protein. And I forget exactly how that happens chemical wise, but there's some amazing thing that happens when you pair a starch and a plant protein in order to create a complete an amino acid profile. And then also proteins are responsible for body structure and metabolism. So body structure meaning like hair, skin, nails, all the solid structural components of our body, our organs, the tissues in there. That's what proteins are important for. It also helps to regulate metabolism as well. Okay, and then fats compose, or it would be ideal that fats comprise 20% of our diet, and they are about 9 calories per gram. There's different types of fats. There's monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, saturated, and trans fat. And it's really nice because fats play such an important role in our daily life, just like protein and carbohydrates. But fats specifically, their role is to warm our body, to cushion our organs. They're a really important component of nerve conduction for your nerves to work really well, as well as hormone production. So if you don't have sufficient amount of fat in your diet, your hormones will actually get pretty much out of whack. And I know some clients I used to work with in the past who had too low of a fat or even low calories in their diet. You can see a change in their hormone production for females because they would usually lose their monthly cycle or period. So having adequate and healthy fats in your diet are super important for hormone production. So that is the macronutrients. So carbohydrate, protein, and fat. As you can tell, carbohydrates we need the most of, and then protein, and then fats. But they're all fairly balanced with each other. Okay, let's talk about the micronutrients. So micronutrients are the small, like a microscope, small nutrients, which includes vitamins and minerals. The body uses minerals to perform many different functions, from building strong bones to transmitting nerve impulses. And some minerals are even used to make hormones or maintain a normal heartbeat. For example, some minerals like magnesium and chlorine and calcium and potassium are really important for nerve conduction and regulating your heartbeat. So if you think about like an electrolyte drink contains all of these micronutrients, these minerals, that are important for nerve conduction and hydration and making sure that your muscles are working properly. So some of the foods that contain micronutrients or vitamins and minerals are fruits. So fruits contain things like phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Veggies and then grains. We have starchy veggies. Meats contain iron and calcium. Nuts contain magnesium, zinc, plant iron, calcium, copper, selenium, phosphorus, and potassium. So when it comes to iron, this I didn't talk about already, but iron specifically, when you find iron in plants like nuts compared to meat like beef, the iron that is found in beef is heme iron, which is actually the same kind of iron that we have in our bodies. So when we're eating, animal sources of protein, we're getting a exact perfect match of iron for our body. So it absorbs really well and is utilized really well. However, with iron that's found in plant products, you're not going to get the same match because it's considered a non-heme iron. It's a different source. So you're not going to get the benefits from iron as much as you would from eating it from an animal source. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have that half of your plate at any given meal is made up of lots of color. And usually the color comes from plants, foods like veggies and fruit. You want to have about 30% vegetables to 20% fruit. So more veggies than fruit. And then the body uses minerals to perform many different functions, from building strong bones to transmitting nerve impulses, like I said. And even, especially like I said, they help to make hormones and also regulate heartbeat, which is really cool. So let's go on now. So that's micronutrients. This is also something good to share with your kids as well. They can learn a little bit about the importance of eating their fruits and veggies. Okay, let's talk about water. So water, it's super important to drink water, of course. We die of dehydration before we die of malnutrition. And within just 5 to 6 days of not having water, somebody could die because their body can no longer perform its regular function. So what counts? So for water, we can either have fresh water, tea, broth, soups, jello, non-sugary sports drinks, and sparkling water. Even coffee counts, even the broth and soup counts. Like I said, jello, popsicles. Let's see what else would count. Basically, the liquid portion of items would be considered water. And you want to have about 3.7 liters for men and about 2.7 liters for women per day. And this is very general. Of course, the more activity you do, the more you're going to need. If you go online, you can actually just Google a hydration calculator and you can input all of your info and it'll give you an average or an ideal amount of water for you to consume per day. So about 20% of daily fluid intake usually comes from food and the rest from drinks. So water helps with weight loss, healthy skin, healthy clear skin, of course, right? Fights infection for sure, helps to support your immune system. It gets rid of body toxins, so it helps to clear your body of any toxins. It's great for your healthy heart function, prevents joint pain and arthritis. This is one thing. I know sometimes I had a friend of mine who would have hip pain once in a while, and she finally realized that when she's not drinking enough water, her hip starts to hurt. And when she starts drinking again, she's feeling better. A lot of times dehydration can also result in fatigue or sugar cravings. So you might want to check to see if you're actually thirsty before you grab something sweet to eat, and you might just resolve your issue right then and there. So it also prevents constipation. So if you feel like you're backed up, water in combination with fiber from food is going to be so beneficial. It also reduces your risk for cancer and improves your productivity, which is amazing, right? Because it gives you more energy. Okay. And then I just want to share with you this slide about the benefits of fruits and veggies. So I know there's a variety of things here, and you might have to expand this if it's kind of small. But for example, grapefruits are have an important antioxidant benefit, and due to the presence of lycopene. Cantaloupes contain a diverse profile of nutrients like beta carotene, which could lower the risk for developing asthma. Apples contain phytonutrients like apple polyphenol, which help with regulating blood sugar levels. Lemons, I love lemons and limes, are an excellent source of vitamin C, which is vital to the function of a strong and healthy immune system. Papaya are a good source of dietary fiber, which has been shown to reduce high cholesterol levels. So there's a lot of stuff here. That's my other favorite, beets. Beets contain a specific type of fiber, which could provide health benefits such as reducing the risk of colon cancer. And kale contains an unusual mix of carotenoids and flavonoids, which have been shown to reduce the risk of cancer. So there's some amazing health benefits with fruits and veggies, not just because they're fruits and veggies and they have fiber, but they're awesome sources for disease prevention. And I know even cauliflower, sometimes people ask me, well, cauliflower is white. What does it do? I know, and I'm saying that because the colors that are found in fruits and veggies actually are the components that help to boost your immune system. So the more colorful your diet is, the healthier you're going to be overall. So cauliflower contains, let's see here, glucoraphanin, which could be converted into sulforaphane to provide immune system benefits. So yeah, so all of these things, the green leafies, any fruits and veggies, citrus, orange color things, green color things are super beneficial to your immune system overall and help to prevent disease. And also if you're getting sick, if you have a lot of these things on board in your diet, you're going to get better so much faster because you're helping your body to heal itself. Okay, so this is kind of an in-depth chart here, but I just want to give you a basic idea of what this is all about. So some of you may or may not have heard of the alkaline food chart. So alkalinity in food actually has to do with more of the percent hydrogen, so pH, right? Percent hydrogen in the food. And on this left end of the scale is more of the alkaline foods or alkaline pH foods. And then on the right-hand side, it's more of the acidic pH foods. And right in the middle is pH 7, which is a neutral pH, which is where our body in our tissues and in our bloodstream wants to be. It's the perfect environment, pH 7, for our ultimate health. If you're consuming foods that are more on the alkaline level, they're beneficial for your health and disease prevention. And then the more acidic foods are going to be more contributing to inflammation and joint pain, stress, muscle tension, stomach pain, abdominal issues, and gastrointestinal issues, and any disease. Diseases are actually survive and thrive in an acidic environment. And the more stress we have, the more negative beliefs or things like that we're talking to ourselves, the more acidic our environment's going to be in our bodies. But if we're eating foods that are higher in pH in this area here, you're going to be able to support your immune system a little bit better. I know these letters are tiny, but if you go online, you can just look up an alkaline food chart. And not that you can't have these ones that are lower pH, but you just want to combine them a little bit so that way you can get the health benefits from some of these plant foods as well. Okay. All right, we're going to finish up here with the anti-inflammatory or Mediterranean diet. So like I said before, disease is a form of inflammation in your body, whether you have a bruise or a cut, or you've had an injury and now your ankle or knee is swollen, whether it's on the outside around a joint or whether it's internally, you have inflammation that causes disease and makes it difficult for your immune system to do its job. It's usually because of either like lifestyle factors like lack of exercise or smoking or poor diet, high processed food diet, which contains lots of toxins. The more toxic you are on the inside, the more difficulty your immune system is going to have to function well and also help you when you are getting sick, whether it's with a chronic disease or just with a common cold or flu. But on the other end, if you have a beautiful diet, 80% pure whole food, 20% fun food, your body is going to be very happy and serve you well when it comes to preventing disease and just getting over sicknesses that much faster, as well as your self-talk, checking your self-talk. If you're noticing that you're having some negative self-talk, but can translate it or reframe it into positive self-talk, your body hears all those things and it contributes to your well-being overall and helps with your immune system. So the Mediterranean diet is also an anti-inflammatory diet, which is obviously a great health benefit. And the more healthy foods we give our bodies, the more we can support our immune system. So at the foundation of an anti-inflammatory Mediterranean diet is physical activity and eating with family. So not only is the Mediterranean diet foods, are those beneficial, but it's not just the food, it's also the lifestyle that people have, where they're enjoying community, enjoying connections with other people, and feeling grounded and connected maybe in their faith, or having hope for their life and excited for the day. That's foundational, along with daily physical activity. And as you can see, overall, the Mediterranean Food Guide Pyramid is plant-based. So from the bottom, the grains, fruits and veggies, healthy fats, and proteins. The proteins start more at the top, right? So for example, it says to have, whole grains, bread, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds daily, fruits and veggies daily, oils and healthy fats daily. And then at the top, it says a few servings per week of animal products, whether it's fish, seafood, and then chicken and eggs and cheese weekly in moderate portions. And then the very top is meats and sweets for special occasions or small amounts. So if you think about it, overall, you don't really see people getting sick, like chronic disease, when they're eating more of a plant, colorful based diet. But if it's opposite, this is flipped, and there's mostly this in their diet, you're going to see more chronic conditions, more chronic health conditions, negative health conditions. So it's a really great tool to use when it comes to looking at your plate of food. So you want to have the majority of your plate with lots of color. And I know the wheat here we have in this country isn't the best with the GMO products and things like that. But if you can find non-GMO bread that is organic, whole wheat bread, or even imported pasta or wheat products from Italy or anywhere in Europe, you're not going to have the same kind of junky grain that we have in the US. So I know at Costco, they sell imported grain, or imported wheat, and so does wheat products like pasta, and so does Trader Joe's and maybe some other health food stores in your area, which actually would be just fine for you. So if you're looking for alternatives, the bread that I like to use is Dave's Killer Bread, or Oro Wheat also has a GMO-free organic bread. You want to get a whole grain version of that. Okay. And then as we go up, like I said, there's more of the more of the animal products that cause more inflammation. Okay. All right. Now, why is nutrition so important as we finish this up? So, it's for good energy, good immunity, disease prevention, GI regularity, stamina for workouts, longevity, and an amazing quality of life. So if you feel like in your future, as you age, you would rather not be in a walker or wheelchair, but instead playing with your grandchildren on the beach, going for walks with your friend at the park and socializing, maybe playing golf or tennis as you retire in age, and being able to get off the floor or even sit on the floor with your grandkids and play Legos or toys or have a tea party with them, then you really want to focus in on the things we talked about today. Foods that are anti-inflammatory and are good for longevity, or even if you're suffering from a chronic condition right now, whether it's fibromyalgia, arthritis, IBS, hormone imbalances, diabetes, cholesterol, blood pressure issues, maybe at risk for heart disease, changing your diet to be more of a Mediterranean style, mostly plant-based, with some animal protein mixed in there and some sweet treats once in a while, you're going to start feeling a lot better. So this diet goes across the board, no matter what your health condition is. And as a registered dietitian, that's actually my wheelhouse. That's where I thrive, is helping people in the community who have disease conditions to help them formulate a medical nutrition therapy protocol, meal plan to help them to survive, not to survive, but to thrive in longevity and have an amazing quality of life using nutrition to help to heal their bodies. So if you are needing some help in this area, I'm here for you. This is what I do all the time. I help my clients set up a specific meal plan that'll meet their specific nutritional needs to either prevent disease, lose weight, or just feel better and begin to reverse their medical condition. So I'm here for you. I'm available. Actually, I have a few spots open right now for Nutrition 101 counseling. If you're not in the North Idaho area, that's okay. I'm meeting, actually more than half of my practice right now is out of state or even out of the country. And I'm meeting with them via Zoom and are having really great results and great connections via Zoom. But if you do live in my area, even better, my practice is mobile. I can come to your home. We can meet somewhere at comfy, coffee shop, whatever feels good to you. And I can help you, walk you through the meal plan that's going to be healing for you, and then also answer your specific questions. And especially if you're struggling with breaking through like weight loss plateaus, maybe you've been trying to lose weight, but nothing's happening, or you try to jump on a diet program, but every time you do, you're just feeling like you keep falling off and just can't do it. It's just too much. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you in that area. I had my own negative relationship with food in the past and really struggled with my body image and making peace with food. But through some great therapy, some great wisdom that was given to me, and my own recovery, I have come out of it and am excited to help other men and women to find that peace with food again, and also with their bodies, and just feel great and live their best life, not just slide by or survive, but to help you thrive and to live your best life. So if you need help, I'm here for you. You can either reply to this email that this was sent to you on, or comment on this Facebook post, or just reach out to me via PM, personal message. You can even go to my website, which is wellwithinnutrition.com. And it's W-E-L-L, wellwithinnutrition.com. And I'm here to help you. So even to answer your questions, I offer a 30-minute free consult. We can just talk about what your needs are and how I can help. So I'm here for you. Okay, so just to finish up, some of the key points are to fill your plate with lots of veggies and use meat as a side dish. Drink water throughout the day, and it's about 1 cup every 15 minutes when you're exercising. Limit your alcohol to 1 to 2 glasses per day. Consume adequate carbohydrates and healthy fats for good energy. Listen to your body for the amount of food to eat, and eat when you're hungry and stop when you're satisfied to help to maintain your energy and also your weight. And then exercise intentionally for about 30 minutes, at least 3 to 5 days per week. And if you need help with getting some ideas for that, let me know. I'm happy to help. And if you're on Facebook, I would definitely I'd love to invite you to join my private community. All you have to do is go to joincynthia.com, Join Cynthia, CYNTHIA.com, joincynthia.com, and get some daily coaching from me and some community support as you go through your wellness lifestyle and wanting to live that out and have some accountability. So that is there for you as well. But before we go, I just want to give you a little something special. I found on my computer just the other day. I forgot I had this, but I have a guide I created to the Mediterranean diet lifestyle. And it's a really cool guide. Let me see if I can share this with you on my screen. You can kind of see it here. Let me open this up for you. So I have this really cool guide that I would love to share with you. And if you would like a copy of this, I will put a link to this particular guide that you can download and use and print. So let me show you a little bit about it. So this is a Mediterranean, your guide to the Mediterranean diet lifestyle. So let's see if I can go scroll through this. Is it going to work for me? Anyway, looks like it's not going to work for me. But maybe it will. You can kind of see some of the pages here. So here we go, the Mediterranean diet lifestyle. So I give you a whole explanation of what it is, the history of it, how it works, and why it's so healthy. And then teaching you a little bit more about the background of it and how to start implementing some of the Mediterranean lifestyle habits in your daily diet. And yeah, so there's some steps here on how to actually do it. And then I have the Mediterranean diet pyramid that I shared with you. And then I created a meal plan specifically that's very similar to this. It's not Mediterranean food specifically. Some of it is actually, but it's balanced out as a Mediterranean diet would. So it has every day of the week for 1 week what to eat, if you don't have to follow it to a T unless you want to, but it's giving you some really good ideas on how to balance out your daily diet to be more anti-inflammatory and help you to give your immune system exactly what it needs to stay strong and healthy, and maybe even reverse disease states maybe that you're experiencing, and as a little great side effect, some weight loss as well. So if you'd like a copy of this guide to the Mediterranean diet lifestyle, I'll add the link in the post or in this email and just click on it and you can download that and enjoy that in your inbox. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed learning with me today. Let me go back to my slides here. Hope you enjoyed learning with me today and getting some information about general health and wellness, as well as learning about mindset and how that plays a key role in your overall wellness lifestyle. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, you can join me at joincynthia.com to join my private Facebook group page. You can reply to this email with any questions that you have. Go to my website, wellwithinnutrition.com, and reach out to me. Let me know how I can help you and anybody that you may have in your life or your loved ones. All right, talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.